The Supreme Court, handed down a unanimous ruling against Mexico's lawsuit on gun makers. On Thursday, the Supreme Court unanimously rejected a legal challenge from Mexico against United States gun manufacturers in the case of Smith & Wesson versus Estados Unidos Mexicanos. Mexico had actually sued 7 American gun companies, alleging their products are commonly trafficked into the hands of Mexican drug cartels. The Mexican government asserted that roughly 90% of guns retrieved at crime scenes within Mexico trace back to the United States. However, Mexico's legal arguments pretty much collapsed under the weight of the Protection of Lawful Commerce in Arms Act, or PLCAA, which was enacted in 2005. This law provides extensive protections to United States gun manufacturers, shielding them from lawsuits that seek to hold them accountable for harm caused by misuse of firearms by third parties, including criminals. While there are exceptions in cases like aiding illegal sales, the threshold for proving such liability is, extremely high. Mexico argued that gun makers essentially facilitated illegal sales to cartels by supplying firearms to dealers known for unlawful practices. They also criticized companies for allowing bulk sales and designing guns with strong appeals to Mexican culture, such as a firearm featuring Emiliano Zapata's image paired with his iconic quote, "It is better to die standing than to live on your knees." Nevertheless, Justice Elena Kagan's opinion determined these points insufficient to overcome PLCAA protections. Drawing from the Supreme Court's previous ruling in Twitter versus Tomney 2023, where social media companies were not held liable for allowing terrorist content on their platforms. Kagan emphasized that liability occurs only when a party actively promotes and directly facilitates a crime. For gun makers, mere knowledge that some firearms might end up in the wrong hands isn't equivalent to complicity. The court also underscored that PLCAA was specifically enacted to curb a wave of lawsuits against gun manufacturers. Congress designed the law to shield gun makers from being targeted for downstream impacts of firearm misuse. Kagan concluded that while Mexico's frustrations with gun violence are well-founded, it is outside the court's role to second-guess Congress's intent in passing the statute. This ruling arrives amidst other firearms-related debates within United States legal and political arenas. Notably, lawmakers have reignited discussions about federal regulations on gun silencers. House Republicans recently introduced measures to halt the requirement for registering silencers with the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms. Advocates for deregulation argue these devices help mitigate hearing damage and reduce noise pollution from gunfire, while critics express concerns that silencers could make mass shootings even deadlier by muffling the sound of gunshots. For example, silencer proponents, such as the National Rifle Association, claim these tools have been unfairly vilified by Hollywood depictions of assassins using them. Meanwhile, organizations like the International Association of Chiefs of Police and gun control advocates warn deregulation could undermine public safety by reducing law enforcement's ability to detect gunfire locations during emergencies. Texas Republicans, too, have sought to weaken federal silencer regulations. Last year, a law was enacted allowing Texans to purchase locally made silencers without needing to register with federal authorities. But lawsuits challenging such measures, including one led by Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton against the ATF, have largely been dismissed in court. The Supreme Court's ruling in the Mexico lawsuit reaffirms the strength of PLCAA protections, reinforcing American gun manufacturers' legal insulation. At the same time, legislative pushes around issues like silencers and short-barrel firearms highlight ongoing divisions between gun rights proponents and gun control advocates. While Mexico's lawsuit may not have succeeded, it underscores the international consequences of U.S. gun policies, raising questions over accountability and the role of legal frameworks like the PLCAA. Similarly, debates surrounding firearm accessories like silencers signal that domestic gun legislation remains a fiercely contested space, one with far-reaching implications for public safety and constitutional rights.